me your dreams.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact video, and today I'm just going to be talking about this new tactical training guide that Genshin 4.5 introduced. By the way, if you happen to like the content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. So we got this new training guide in Genshin Impact that basically gives you an idea on how to build your characters. You can access this by pressing the S on your keyboard and you just look for training guide. As I said before, it basically gives you an idea on how to build your characters, which artifacts to farm for, the talent priority, what weapons to use on the character. The data that they receive is basically based off of the player usage. It's kind of similar to the artifact page system in which it recommends you the main stat based off of player usage data. This is kind of ineffective for new characters like Chiori. There's still no data on Chiori as of right now, probably because there's just not enough data that they can collect to figure out what to give you. Overall, I do think this training guide is pretty good. It does give you a vague idea on how to build characters. However, for newer characters that have just been recently released, it's not going to be that helpful. I do believe it basically gives you weapon recommendations based on weapons you have. I don't think it would recommend you a weapon that you don't have. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Also, when you go through the characters in the training page, it'll have a green check mark to let you know if you're all good, and it'll have a red arrow to let you know that you still need a little bit more work on this specific section. For the weapon recommendation page, it only recommends you at least 3 weapons. It doesn't recommend you any more than that. I do think that kind of sucks because I do think that they could recommend you a little bit more weapons. Maybe they only have just enough room for 3. I don't know. I mean, this is a good start, but I mean, it's not like a perfect start either. Jean, for example, it recommends me only 3 5-star weapons. However, I do have the Festering Desire on her. Although the Festering Desire was only available for a limited time during like the earlier periods of Genshin, not many players are probably going to have the Festering Desire. Because for my Xianyun, they do recommend that you use the Oathsworn Eye for her, and since the Oathsworn Eye is relatively recent, most players will probably have that. However, for my Farina, they do recommend that I use the Festering Desire, so I don't know, I guess people don't use Festering Desire on Jean as much anymore. Even though they only recommend 3 weapons, I do think it's a pretty good start. It can save people the trouble of watching a 30 or 20-minute video on how to play a specific character. Not to mention, so many people are so fucking lazy, they don't even want to look up guides for how to build characters. So at least with this system, you know, they'll at least have something to spoon feed them in the actual game itself. Now, will this training guide system fuck over guide maker content creators? No, absolutely not. I don't think that's gonna happen, because for number one, people are social creatures. They like to watch content creators, so you know, people are gonna watch them for the social shit. Number two, guide makers also go through an in-depth detail on why these weapons work, why these artifacts work. Not to mention, they'll also go over team comps as well. So the training guide basically tells you what to do without really like going into detail, while guide makers will go into detail. I was always a little hesitant about making Genshin guides, mostly because bigger CCs already have access to the beta servers, so they already have access to the stuff, which basically gives them a huge advantage over any other content creator. Same thing applies with Punishing Grey Raven, because the game itself basically tells you what to do. There are also content creators that play the CN server that already know what's up, so they basically have a huge advantage there. For Snowbreak Containment Zone, I am actually part of their CC program. There's not that many perks in it though, mostly because the game is not that big. I basically just get free goodies, and the quota for their CC program is basically you upload a video about the game, you know, once every 3 weeks. That's basically it. That's why you don't really see me uploading that much Snowbreak content, because I basically fill the quota by uploading a video every 3 weeks about Snowbreak Containment Zone. I don't know too much about HoYoverse's CC program, but I can probably assume it's a little bit more stricter since it is HoYoverse and the game is pretty big. Anyways, to get back on track, I don't think this training guide is going to fuck over, the bigger CCs, since, people, like to watch them, and, they want a more detailed explanation on how things work. But I do think their training guide is a pretty good for players that don't want to watch like a 20-30 minute video on how to play a character. I think that's basically about it. Let me know what you guys think about the new training page program. What do you guys think? Do you think it's good, bad? Do you think it could use a little bit more work? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye now. Come again soon.